Be a part of solution, not a part of pollution. Greetings everyone. I, Sakshi Mane, welcome you to this webinar. In a world where environmental concerns are becoming increasingly urgent, it is crucial for us as the future leaders and change makers to understand the significance of our individual actions in creating a sustainable future. Today's webinar aims to empower each one of you with the knowledge and tools to make a positive impact on the environment through adopting zero waste practices. It's only straw 8 billion people said as 100 million animals took their last breath. In everyday life, from what we eat to how well we score, our choices affect our future. Let's focus on today. On this occasion, we have gathered to encourage zero waste living as it's not our destination but journey of millions helping to live in a sustainable environment. We have renowned speakers who will share their expertise, insights, and experiences on this topic. Today, it is my utmost privilege and honor to introduce to you an exceptional leader and the driving force behind the esteemed institution, Professor Dr. Pooja Ramchandani. As the principal of a college and the Dean of Commerce and Management at HSNC University, she stands as a beacon of inspiration, guidance, and unwavering support for each and every one of us. The very kind and supportive, the teacher in charge of the club, Professor Dr. Chandani Bhattacharjee ma'am. She is the head of the Department of Environment and Director of International Initiative. She is very kind and supportive. It is my utmost pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker for today's event, an individual who has dedicated themselves to advocating for a more sustainable and environmentally conscious way of life. Today, we have the privilege of welcoming an expert on the topic of zero waste living. With their extensive experience and expertise, our speaker will shed light on the importance of adopting a zero waste lifestyle. Through their journey, they have inspired countless individuals to make positive changes towards a more sustainable future. Their passion, knowledge, and practical insights have the power to transform the way we perceive waste and our relationship with the environment. We welcome Desika Prabakar, a sustainability consultant with over 5 years of expertise in her field.
Convenience or conscious living. That RRR, that should be more famous than the one with Alia in it. How did zero become the real hero? So breaking down all of this is going to be the crux of our session today. A very happy evening to all the lovely, cute souls with us today. And I want to start off with wishing you all a very happy World Environment Day. So the fact is, it's sad that we have to dedicate one day, celebrate to re-emphasize and put all our focus into how we uplift the environment, and all environment enthusiasts wish that such a day exists every day. But I would like to convey my wishes before we proceed. I'm Desika Prabakar, sustainability consultant, nearly 5 years experience, and my family is into this field for more than 20-25 years of plastic recycling. You would have seen the viral quote worn by Prime Minister Modi ji, made of recycled PET bottles. So we had supplied that quote to the Honorable Prime Minister, and that's the background I have in recycling, and I work primarily on waste to value projects with a lot of students in supporting their entrepreneurship. So I was very, very happy and honored when Vikram and Ankita gave me this opportunity, and also happy to know professors are also here supporting students. It's really, really a proud feeling to see, the team getting together and working together. So I'm very happy to have this opportunity. And I was looking up the university, and seems to be that it's really very famous one, and there are a lot of celebrity alumni over there. So I'm happy that I'm talking to a lot of future celebrities, researchers, entrepreneurs, and all the roles that you guys are going to be taking up in the future in business and management. So I'm very proud and honored to be here. I wanted to take you guys through a different thought process in this zero waste living topic that was given to me. The concept, there's so many things that I can list out, do this, do that, right? But when you take the whole process of zero waste living, it starts from the mindset as such and goes on to a practice which becomes perfect eventually. So what we follow is sort of a knowing, thinking, feeling and doing sort of a model. So I have based the session today on that exact model to give you information first to know what is this sustainability, what is happening in this space, and the current scenario, the initiatives in climate space. So we look into that. Then we'll do a lot of thinking. So whatever we think should deliver the right choices. And in that way, we will be discussing and breaking some myths revolving in this space and how you can make better choices. So this will be the first half. And the second half, I would be wanting to talk about how we put everything to practice by a means of first feeling it and then taking action to adopt a zero-waste lifestyle. So when we talk about sustainability, climate change, global warming, all of these you would have definitely come across. So it's like more of jargons. So what do they mean? Is it really important that we know all the meanings and definitions, like how we write, a 2-mark answer for examinations? What is the definition? Is it important to know the definition, or is it important to know why that concept evolved and what is the goal of that concept? What does it plan to achieve at the end? So that should be the focus. Quite frankly, it's being used more into marketing as a gimmicky word, and nothing is being translated to ground, unfortunately. But we do see that this would eventually change, and that's the hope that we are going upon. So to start off, we'll be doing the knowing part, which I mentioned. And for that, so what we have to do is, I'm very sure the best surveillance in India is our next door aunties for sure, or like the stereotypical aunties for sure. So we have to sort of become those aunties and go into a surveillance mode to understand what is really happening in this space. So we will deal with understanding and knowing what is happening in this space. So when you talk about climate change as such, this 1.5 degree is like the ABC. Everyone talks about it, 1.5 degree and 2 degree. So many of you might have come across this since you guys are actively involved in the Nature Club and talking about a lot of initiatives. So what is this 1.5 degree? Of course, it comes from the Paris Agreement, where all the countries had set up goals to limit the global temperatures to 2 degrees and to best try efforts to keep it to 1.5 degree. So why this is significant, I wanted to tell you guys. The significance comes from the consequences. So what is the consequence that we are even now starting to face in the form of heat waves? We are facing rapidly a lot of heat waves, imbalances in the seasons, sea level rises, loss of lot of biodiversity and species. All of this, if it is at one level at 1.5 degree, then it goes to 2x, 3x, even 10x more when it comes to 2 degrees. And that is how much the fold of change and consequence that can come up when we let this happen. That is when we don't take initiatives and curtail the temperature within 2 degrees, or best 1.5 degrees, we are going to face all of these utmost consequences. And every single country has set up policies, has set up a lot of goals and initiatives to achieve this. However, even though we know how serious this is, India, unfortunately, still has a rating which they call highly insufficient. So there is this climate action tracker which tracks the whole of what are the goals that countries set, what are the practices, how is the action, and what is the results. So all of this put together, they track and give the ratings. And unfortunately, India still is in a highly insufficient sort of a rating. So there needs to be a lot more emphasis on setting policies and getting people, getting corporates, getting individuals into an action mode. More than setting up policies, right? Something that we, especially in India, what we fail to acknowledge is the logical approach. That is, when we talk about a country framing the policies, the immediate step is to look at what are the industries that contribute to Earth's high amount of pollution. That is, even at a global level, what is the industry that contributes to a high amount of pollution? That is the logical approach to set up policies, bans, or incentives into that particular sectors. However, in class, there's always this one student who gets caught no matter if he did the mistake or she did the mistake, but the professor always points out to that student that he's going to make the mistake or she's going to make the mistake no matter what happens, right? And in this case, plastics is that student which always gets too villainized in many situations, and there is a lot of negativity surrounding the plastic industry as a whole. But when we see the reality, when we see the data, you can see here in this latest report in our world data that energy sector and energy use in industries, especially fashion industry, which contributes to 10% of global emissions, transportation industries, building and construction industry, all of this are major contributors of global level greenhouse gas emissions. And comparatively, petrochemicals, that is the plastic production as such, contributes to 3.6. So I'm not going to advocate here that this is less and it should not be considered, etc. Of course, pollution is pollution, and this also is very critical and something that has to be addressed for sure. But the approach towards things and how we have sort of villainized plastics is not really the way to go. Yes. So the theme also this year into beating plastic pollution. I've kept the whole session focused more on plastic waste, plastic pollution, and initiatives around zero waste. So first and foremost is, again, going to the knowing part. We have to understand what amount of waste are we generating per capita, that is per individual. What is the amount of waste that we are generating? And in India, the latest data that is given by the Central Pollution Control Board is that Goa, Delhi, Kerala are the states which have the highest per capita, that is the individual consumption of plastic waste, and northeastern states have a lower per capita consumption. Sort of a thing that we can tap ourselves in the back and sort of be proud about is that compared to developed countries like US, Australia, our per capita consumption of plastics is somewhere only around 15 kgs per person per year. But whereas you take the US or Australia and all into consideration, it goes even up to 100 kgs, which is really very pathetic. But nevertheless, every kg and every gram counts, and all the steps that we can take is going to make a significant difference. So we must understand here that plastics is not the problem. It is only a problem if you make it. That is, when you have, that is you as an individual, have a behavioral problem in the sense of littering, in the sense of improper disposal of waste. So this consumption behavior, disposal behaviors, the attitude towards that waste or the plastic itself is the reason and is the problem, and not plastic as a whole, because it is really a miraculous material which can be recycled in number of times. So that is the knowing part that you needed. I mean, I wanted to share as a brief, so that you are well informed about what is the current scenario and what is the state of plastic generation in our country. Now we go to the thinking part. So thinking, why it is of course essential, is only when we think, digest information, we make the right choices, we make better choices. Of course, unfortunately, there is a lot of doglapan, in words of my favorite Shark Tank person. Like there is a lot of things that are happening in this space, and we need to know what is right and what is wrong to make the best informed decisions. So in this case, I wanted to give you a lot of details on initiatives that India has been taking, and what are the other side of things that is happening. What is the reality that is actually happening? So first things first, we will talk about bioplastics and bio-compostable. So you now see these carry bags that you get in the supermarkets. The feel itself will be a little flimsy. It's very lightweight, and it will be written as bio-compostable bags. So first, I wanted to clarify and give you what is biocompostable and what is biodegradable, what is bio-based. Lot of bio words keep coming up, lot of jargons keep coming up. So to clarify, first is biocompostable is simply that can be composed in an industrial facility. So more than 70° is required to actually convert this whatever bags that you're getting into a compost in an industrial setup. So this is what biocomposting is. It requires some machines and a specific temperature to be composted and degraded. But biodegradable is something that naturally degrades. Like for example, leaf, any organic matter naturally degrades into CO2 water. So that natural process of anything biodegradation is biodegradable products. And when you talk about bioplastics as such, this comes under bio-based products. So bio-based is anything derived from a renewable natural resource. The bio-based products is bioplastics because it comes from corn. Essentially, it comes from corn or even cassava starch, right, which we can consume as food. Like all of this as extracts, they convert into plastic films. So all of these terminologies, why I'm clarifying is this bio-compostable is given as an alternative and advocated by the government. However, if you see the scientific validation, unfortunately, the data backing is not supporting what is actually happening in the ground. For this, I want to introduce to you a concept of life cycle assessment. This is popularly called LCA. So life cycle assessment is like the 101 for sustainability for all of us in this space. We swear by it. It's like a holy grail for us. This is an assessment. It's complete using software also they do, manual assessment also they do. It's sort of an estimation that is done for any product, any technology from the start of its production. That is the cradle, they call it, from the raw material extraction process, production process, till it goes out of the factory gate, the whole process, until the end of life, till it completes the whole of its lifetime. That is the grade. So this whole process is evaluated, and what are the emissions at each stage is accounted and the data is given. So this is called life cycle assessment. So you can see scientifically they validate and estimate the amount of emissions at each stage of the process. So here, if you can see towards your left corner, the PLA and PP cups. PLA is basically polylactic acid, which is like your biocompostable products. And PP is polypropylene, which is a petrochemical based plastic product. So when you compare the cups of both PLA and PP, data shows, life cycle assessment data shows that the PP cup is much better. So scientific validation actually shows that plastic is much better. Why? Because first thing, this bio-based, biocompostables require industrial composting temperature. And whatever we dispose, right? So when you are at home, you're throwing your garbage, you're throwing your carry bags, everything. We don't separate this PLA carry bag separately, other plastic separately. So what happens is, this biocompostable product mixes with your normal plastic and contaminates the recycling process also. So everything is essentially spoiled, unfortunately, and there are not many facilities to even actually recycle in the case that you separate it also. That is also again unfortunate. The more unfortunate or debatable part is that it comes from a food source, right? Already we are in a climate crisis and food security is a question here. And when you talk about that, when you think about that, and then you're using that for making plastics, it really raises up a lot of questions. So that is something to think about before we put, that as an alternative. That is one thing. Number two will be very interesting for you guys, I think. So I was looking for, toothbrushes, and I saw this ad of bamboo toothbrush, and I was like immediately, okay, great. It's an eco-friendly product. Let's buy it. And I had purchased it and even, advocated a lot of my friends to use it initially. But then what again, unfortunately, I found was the bristles that you see, right, when you brush your teeth, that is still made of plastic. And it is not completely biodegradable at all. The actual way to dispose that brush is that you have to remove out all the bristles, put it separately, which I don't think as an individual we are, capable of doing in our busy schedule and all of that. And even research by Trinity College, they say that the best toothbrush out there is a plastic brush. They compared electric brushes, they compared the brushes which you can remove the head and replace, and they compared the bamboo brushes. But they said that the recyclability, lifetime, production, emission, everything combined, that plastic brushes are better. So you see that there is so much of contradiction in what is happening in reality and what is the actually validated scientific evidence. So whenever you make choices, that is why I wanted to keep this session, that you think and make the right choices. So on this side, we have again the paper packaging rush I wanted to talk to you guys about. Now you see everything shifting towards paper, right? Even when you look at evening snacks, which you purchase nowadays, it's coming in a paper packaging. All of that is changing to paper. So because people don't, the companies don't want to get criticized by use of plastic, etc. But again, paper packaging, when you use, again, it becomes a multi-layer packaging, so it is not recyclable, one thing. The second thing is LCA assessment results show that the paper, again, which comes from the raw material to production side, the emissions are more compared to plastics. So plastics, which is again recyclable, has plus points and the emissions are less. So to advocate paper or glass over plastics is not right. It is completely incorrect. I can share you all the scientific papers and publications for your understanding later on. All of this is solid proof that are better. Last thing is about EPA, producer responsibility. So extended producer responsibility is one of the initiatives that India has taken. From a European descent, we have enforced this corporates. That is the producer of the plastic. The producer who's using the plastic packaging in their products are supposed to recycle it back. They should go collect and recycle it back. That is their responsibility. So which it is very, very applaudable initiative that, you know, the producer who's putting out that packaging. For example, if it's an FMCG company who's selling chips packets and all, they are putting out the plastic packaging there. So they have to collect it and recycle it. This is the responsibility. However, a lot of this is not actually translating. It is commendable, but it needs a lot more scrutiny. It needs a lot more stringent checking up at every stage, so that it just does not happen on paper, but it actually happens on the ground. And this should not only extend to plastic packaging, but also to textiles. So all of this we should keep in mind when we think about choosing a product or making any change into our lifestyle. So yes, when you talk about the Doglapans, another very important concept that you guys should know is greenwashing. So greenwashing is false marketing, where people are made to believe that a product is green when in reality it's not environment friendly at all. It's purely marketing gimmicks that companies use, and many big companies, many big corporates have been really bashed for the greenwashing that claims they have done. So there are actually 7 divisions of greenwashing. They call it 7 sins, like sinning, right? 7 sins. So the first one is called hidden trade-offs. So hidden trade-off is basically like you say one thing is good, but you hide out some other important details, right? You say what is the good stuff, and then you hide out the other bad stuff. So Starbucks, I'm sure you guys know. So Starbucks did one replacement where they had said that we don't use straws anymore. We don't give straws in the drinks. We are just going to put the lid as such. So however, what they didn't say is that when you replace the straw, when they took out, they increase the weight of the cup in itself. So again, the plastic is, you know, already compensated here. So it doesn't mean that they're doing something great, reducing plastic. No, it's the same amount. So they cannot claim that they did something to reduce plastic. That is called a hidden trade-off. And they were very heavily criticized for this as well. Second is no proof, simply that claiming something without any proof, right? So Khadi products are very famous in India. A lot are being sold, and a lot of fake products are also coming up. A lot of spin-offs, they call it. So without certifications, these products are being sold, and you have to ensure. I'm very sure that as an example, I can tell you in Amazon, you will see a lot of, you know, products which are like natural, organic, but then you see the labels, everything, they are different. There is no proof, simply they claim. Another is a vague language. So vague language is simply using all these fancy terms, green terms, to make you believe that the product is very all natural, organic, sustainable, but there is no proof to it, right? Like no scientific data to back it up. Most often, all the products that say organic and sustainable, natural ingredients, say like your face wash, sunscreen, or any personal care products, will always contain definitely a lot of chemicals, but they claim it as all natural. That happens many, many times if you really look into it. And then there's false labels. So Himalaya also was blamed in this section. As an example, I can tell you here, there is a bunny logo, a rabbit sort of a logo, which they use for no animal cruelty, like they don't test it on animals, so they use that, and it's a certified thing. But what Himalaya has done is just they used a bunny logo to resemble it, and to say that it was no animal testing, but actually it was not certified. They just used it and just claimed that it was no animal testing, and they didn't have a certificate to show for it. So this is another example. Irrelevance, like saying something which is actually very irrelevant to promote your product. So Carmesi is a sanitary napkin brand, and what they claim is, or many napkin brands for that matter, claim biodegradable or completely degradable organic sort of a phenomena for the napkin, right? But of course, it is actually a compostable napkin where you have to, as I mentioned, compost it either at your home composting or an industrial composting. So unless you do that, it's not going to degrade at all. And even students tested this and proved it. So that claim is completely of irrelevance. Next is lesser of two evils. That is, like, say, claiming that cigarettes in organic cigarettes are very good. A cigarette itself is bad. So when you claim it that it's when you put it as an organic cigarette, it doesn't mean it's good. It's still bad. So they promote it as something good. So that is lesser of two evils, they call it. And fibbing is Volkswagen is an example. Volkswagen, why? Because what they said is diesel cars, their diesel cars consume less than the petrol cars, they claimed. And it was later found out that they had actually faked the data in the software, and it was 40 times more than the limit, the pollution. So many of these false claims exist, and you have to be aware and make informed choices again. I'm just emphasizing that. Yes. So, and of course, this meme, why I added, because we always, our moms have taught us that, when you have an ice cream box, it turns out to have something else. So everyone would have come across this, I'm sure. So don't keep this in mind next time when you think about greenwashing, and try to ensure that if it is actually true to the claim or not. So now we come to the second part of the session, which is going to be very, very enthusiastic, and excitement levels, I think, will be very high, because it's time for some love. So why love? Because see, the fact remains that emotions is what actually translates into actions. Even during school, right? We don't remember any math equations that we studied. I hope the professors don't get angry with me, but the math equations or anything we study in school, we don't remember, but we remember that we fell down in the stairs, or we remember the punishments that we got. We remember exchanging lunch boxes with your friends. So emotions is what actually stays, and that's what helps you take the action. So unless we put earth into our emotion and treat it like your crush, your first love, or one side love, whatever you call it, the actions are not going to happen. So this is also given by theory, which in our circle we really take seriously, that we call it as consciousness of love. So why we take love is, as you can see here, the transition towards a love and a bonding with earth can give peak performance and extraordinary outcomes. This is what theory says. So whatever blame we have, like anger we have on corporates doing this, that, the guilt we have on being, purchasing more, consuming more plastics and polluting, or whatever fear we have, anxiety towards a lot of consequences of climate change that we are facing, all of this can completely change how we act to support our planet, or to retrieve our planet in the term of love. This can maximize our efforts and our outcomes, and this will instill more of a positive thinking and positive action sort of a mindset. So ultimately, love can have extraordinary outcomes. So this is what I'm trying to say, and we always advocate this. But however, let's go into more of a practical application. Without the emotion translating to action, of course, there is nothing that is going to happen. So we have to go into a more practical approach. So with that, I come to the final part, which is the two part, like the action part. So in the words of SRK, don't underestimate the power of a common man. Why? Because, see, we always have this attitude that it's just one cup, it's just one one more paper, one more chocolate wrap I'm throwing, it's just one, what's going to happen? That just one attitude is really kind of rooted in our minds. We think that we can't make a difference, it's just one, we can't, how big does a difference does it make? But no, don't underestimate the power of one, just that one. So it really means a lot, that if one person can change, it can have a ripple effect, and it is going to be something game changing. So control alt delete that just one mentality, you can make a difference as an individual. So a zero waste lifestyle comes from a zero waste mindset. Only when you have a zero waste mindset, the lifestyle actually makes sense and it will go into practice. So you don't have to go into, become an overnight billionaire or do everything perfect, do everything green, get all anxious. No, just start with, you know what, I'll start doing what I can. I'm just going to do one small thing or some small change that I'm going to bring this week, this month. Start with, I'll start doing what I can mindset. That is the mindset you should have. Not that I'm going to become zero waste, I'm going to become environmental enthusiast, all of that, nothing. This mindset, hashtag mindset matters, is like something should be in your mind that I'll do what I can. That is where you start. And that is going to go a very, very long way, because small steps go really long way. And this is something we have to manifest a lot to make a significant amount of change and impact to our planet. So the best part is, again, you save a lot of money when you make a lot of changes, right? And all these changes are going to keep you in good health. A lot of chemicals that you're going to shift to alternatives, green alternatives, it's going to give you good health. It's going to save you a ton of money. So all in all, it's such a good deal. And we just have to start taking it and making the best out of it. Yes. So first, into the mindset, again, continuing on that, is that you have to familiarize yourself with some important concepts. And I want to give you the explanations for that. So the zero waste lifestyle, the core of zero waste living, is just to send as little waste as possible to your landfills and to the incinerators. To the end of life, it should not go to a landfill, like a dump yard in simple terms. So in this way, you are promoting a concept of circular economy, reusing and repurposing. In this, conscious consumerism is a very, very key term. So conscious consumerism is something where you make choices, again, about the informed choices that I spoke about. You have to look into products if they are fair trade, if they are ethical, if they are no cruelty, like cruelty free, if they are actually certified green, if they are ocean friendly. So fair trade and ethical simply means that everyone in the supply chain, whoever they're sourcing the product from, is paid well. The laborers are paid well. The people, the farmers they're sourcing products from are paid well, and a fair trade has happened. So all of it is ethical and fair. No cruelties, of course, no animals were involved in any testing process, and certified is authenticated that it's actually a green product. So when you go into a sort of a conscious consumerism, nowadays we are more of convenience, right? We order on Swiggy, we immediately want it delivered at home. That is the level of convenience that we have. But of course, we can sometimes go into a little bit of conscious consumerism also, and it can go a long way. Not that you have to change everything, but like the change in the mindset, if you bring itself, ultimately, you will go into step-by-step change in your overall routine. So another interesting thing, which I think as students, you guys might have heard or love, is plogging, which they call as a combination of picking up waste and jogging. So this sort of initiatives many people do, and I think in your club also probably you might have heard of this. So a lot of initiatives like this exist, and these concepts, whatever trends, I would suggest you to latch onto it and try to be part of them as well. Two very main concepts I wanted to tell you guys is about sustainable investing. This is a very interesting concept, and I think as management and business students, you would really be interested, and this would be very useful to you guys. Sustainable investing is basically where investors or anyone investing in stocks, whoever it is, they look into companies' ESG score. ESG is simply environment, social, and governance. So NV for environment, social is the social aspect of the company, how they are with their employees, what is their abuse policies, all of this, how they important are they treating employees, basically social. Governance is how ethical they are, corruption policies, how good they are, all of this in legal terms, all of this comes into picture. So the score is generated for every company. And that score, what is believed that will give you very good returns in long term, and also promote environment and social value. So investors in Europe and all are mandated to have this investment into sustainable companies with high ESG scores by law, like they're mandated, probably will come into India as well. So when you are investing, you can look into sustainable investing options, which would be a very good lifestyle change into supporting sustainability. And of course, carbon credits and carbon offsetting. So this definitely is a term which is widely spoken about in the space, where corporates take to carbon offsetting, or even individuals can do that. So you ultimately, a company or an individual, have certain amount of emissions that they have to offset, in the sense that they will invest into projects and offset emissions. Whatever they're emitting here, they will put money into the project and equalize it, so make it neutral. So one carbon credit is usually into 1 metric ton of greenhouse gases removed, they call it. So one credit, if you have, means you have removed 1 metric ton of greenhouse gases from the atmosphere. So as an individual, you can work on projects to generate the credits and probably have it and you can sell it, or you can work into estimating your own emission and how do you offset it. If you are someone who's emitting more, how do you offset it? You can purchase or invest into some projects and offset your carbon emissions. So I wanted to finally conclude by giving you 4 characters, 4 favorite movie characters, and that could be your symbolic representation of how you can start your zero waste journey. So into taking action and towards your transformation, I wanted to coin it in 4 of my favorite characters. So behind each of them is one level that you go through, and each step that you can take related to the characteristics of that personality. So first one here is Geet. So I'm very sure you guys would have loved this character, the passion, enthusiasm, the fierceness, and the action-taking nature, very bold nature, right? So the initial step in a lifestyle change for a zero waste lifestyle adoption is that you are becoming very, very passionate, filled with enthusiasm about environment and sustainability space. That is like the first step. Again, the mindset, right? And then you go on to making sustainable products or reusable products as your favorite. So there are a lot of things that you can change in your everyday lives, like you see here, even from razors to shoes, reusable water bottles, toothbrushes. There's even like a tooth tab where you can just take one tab and it'll foam up in your mouth. You don't even need the toothpaste tube, because the toothpaste tube is not recyclable. It's a multi-layer packaging tube, so usually it doesn't get recycled. Even soaps, there's the shampoo bars instead of the shampoo bottles that you can use. Diapers and napkins which are consumed more quantities. There's degradable versions of this, natural versions of this. You can simply use a cloth, like, old style. So much are happening so much are available as alternatives. And a bigger culprit is the personal care products. Even me, I am, I talk all on sustainability, climate change. I try to make as much changes, but with makeup and cosmetics, like, there's not much compromise you can do. But luckily, there are even lipsticks which are made from completely natural and organic ingredients, very few ingredients. The fewer ingredients, the better. That should be in your mind. If a product has fewer ingredients, that means it's a good product. Ideally, that's the case. So look for certifications, follow the laws, if there's a ban, then don't use those products. Be conscious of the laws out there. And all of these changes can go a long way. So making sustainable products your favorite is the first step to go. Check the ingredients, as I said, lower the ingredients better. Check for ingredients which are chemical free and very natural. Consider options like even menstrual cups. Probably most of you have, maybe heard of it, tried it. It's a good way to go to get rid of sanitary napkins. This will help you save money, and even ocean-friendly products are available, like without entering into oceans, or that can degrade in oceans. So you can probably look into those products as well. A lot of these examples, as I mentioned, are available if you delve into it. So all you have to do is go around your room, do an analysis, do a waste audit, check up each room, what is the waste that you're generating in your kitchen, or what is the plastic that you're using in your bedroom, in your products, in your personal care, in your restrooms, what are the amount of plastic. Do a waste audit first to understand how much plastic you are generating every month. That will be the first step. Unless you know what you're generating, you cannot even cut it. So analyze that, analyze your carbon footprint. I'm sure you know what carbon footprint is, the amount of emissions that an individual contributes to. So analyze your carbon footprint. There's a lot of apps. You can just put some data and they do the calculations for you. So all of this is the enthusiasm that as your first character. Then we finally go to the second character, which is again a very famous character, the silencer from the Three Idiots movie. So he is more of an overachiever, someone who makes a mark, if you know what I mean, and very consistent, very dedicated. So the next level that you can do in your lifestyle change is to know and practice the 3 R's, which was the reduce, reuse, recycling, to 5 R's. Now it's gone up to 5 R's of refuse, reduce, reuse, recycle, and rot. Rotting is basically composting. So all of this into practice, how to take it into practice is what you have to look into, analyze, and you can always reach out to people like me who are there to help you. If you feel a lot of information is available and you don't know what the right thing is, feel free to reach out and ask us if this is right or wrong. Whatever we know, we will tell you. So efficiently use what you have, right? Extend shelf life of products. Use your clothes, take care of your clothes properly and extend their shelf life instead of keeping on buying new products. Unplug electronics to save up on your electricity. And of course, segregation compost is like ABC. We keep saying everybody segregate, 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 segregate your waste. That is the best thing you can do. Even if you don't do anything, just segregate your waste. Try to get into composting. There's ready available devices where you can just put in the waste and composts will be done. You don't have to do much work as well. A lot of development in composting products and space have come up. Of course, ensure recycling. Take up refilling sort of aspects where you can fill your pulses, your shampoo bottles, all of these products. You can go to eco stores and they'll refill it for you. And finally, don't fall prey for greenwashing or fake labels. If you do this itself, it's a big thing. You're not supporting bad products, right? So in that case itself is a big step. And of course, lastly, shopping. Ensure that your product has take backs. Ensure they have recycling, all of this. So then finally, again, coming, you know how I'm a big fan and everyone is sustainability enthusiasts, a big fan of love. So in this stage, as eco lovers, actually they call, changing lifestyle, of course, comes with some sacrifices. The things I mentioned before are some things we can change. It doesn't really come into your personal choices or a sacrifice in terms of sacrifice, but the love stage or something I want to define as someone who goes beyond, you know, they do for their loved ones. What steps that you take which are actually something as sacrifice. See, India is a nation where weddings are like the biggest market, like the biggest business, right? And now people are, I'm very proud to say that, you know, young generation is coming into green weddings. They want to do very simplistic weddings. They want to not do lavish ones. Very few, but there are people who want to do green weddings, where they recycle all the waste, where they don't use, you know, they use reusable plates, decorations are organic, so much. So all of this is like a part of a sacrificial thing that they do out of love for the environment. And of course, traveling sustainably, using all reusable products, ensuring that you don't leave your waste there and pollute nature. So travel sustainably, practice ecotourism. Microplastics. So it is about going into depth. Like in love, you always go into depth, right? So in deeper terms, there's something called microplastics in every products that we use. There's micro beads even in your personal care products, which goes into the oceans and affect marine life. So even in your washing machines, you can install something called a lint catcher, which is microfibers which go into the ocean. So that lint catcher can catch all that small fabrics and prevent it from mixing with the waters which go into the drains and eventually into the ocean. You can always practice second-hand clothing and pre-loved clothes, they call it. Rent clothes instead of purchasing new ones. And an interesting thing is even in drinks, there's sustainable drinks. I thought this would be an interesting topic to mention. People, I mean, I think in Scotland or Sweden, this carbon neutral vodka they've come up with. There's even sustainable beers which use less water. So many interesting concepts that you can understand, even if you are not, you know, practicing, you can advocate to others. And of course, veganism. Veganism, why? Because that is like an extreme step. You don't necessarily have to go there, but even if you reduce your meat consumption, that makes a lot of difference. So investing into ESG, as I mentioned, and offsetting all of this. As eco lovers, you can take extra initiatives and contribute towards a lifestyle change. Yes. So finally, last is of course the Avengers of them all, becoming the leaders, becoming change makers, and becoming an influential person in this space. So first of all, to be a leader is first and foremost, you should have an inspiration. You should have someone you look up to. So I would suggest today you go and choose a person, follow someone on YouTube or Instagram, whatever, someone who is really advocating in your way for the environment and giving some tips, very useful tips. Just follow them, start practicing it, and then you can spread the message. Talk with your friends, like the club. This itself is a great initiative. Many people don't do that. So I have to applaud, getting together as a nature club. That itself, like, that's where it starts, the leadership starts. So you keep influencing. When you only influence, you can drive the demand. You can go tell the corporates that this is kind of the products that we want. We want green products. So in that level of leadership should have from the ripple effect. Green gifting is an interesting concept where you can give gifts instead of wrapping it in plastic. You can wrap it in cloth cars or reusable sort of products or biodegradable products, and conducting events where you don't use plastics or single-use plastics, or use plastics which are degradable. Make sure that you're not littering. Participate in community events, cleanup projects, all of this. Find your way, what you're passionate about. If you like the ocean, you can probably go into cleaning up of oceans. If you like forests, you can go into tree plantation. A lot of options are available. Find what drives you, what you love, what is inspiring you, and then go for it. And but not least is, you can definitely become an entrepreneur in this space, which I am privileged to say that I'm working with a lot of students who are into the climate space and coming up as entrepreneurs to solve climate issues and come up with sustainable solutions. So you can work with those entrepreneurs, or you can become an entrepreneur yourself, or even best case to think career into sustainability. That could be a game changer as well. Of course, if I say something, you'll probably throw stones at me that, there's you can interview for only companies that are sustainable. Actually, it's not. It's a funny fact, and it's not like funny, let's say, but students have told that they will only interview for companies which are actually green and sustainable. So, that also makes sense. But of course, in India, in unemployment being a lot of, receiving a lot of problems around that, I'm not going to say that to you guys, but whatever you can do to support other entrepreneurs itself is like a big step. So yes, when you are setting an example and you become a leader, others follow, and it will create a ripple effect, and it's going to definitely inspire a lot of people to go into sustainable practices. And that's the best end game that Earth could ever ask for. So thank you so much, guys, lovely professors and students. I hope you enjoyed the session and had some meaningful takeaways. So EcoRevolution, the title itself, I wanted to really congratulate, because I truly believe revolution comes from youth and comes from you guys. Undoubtedly, you are going to break a lot of stereotypes and change the whole scene of sustainability one step at a time, with all the changes that you're making, the roles that you're taking up in jobs or influencing or entrepreneurship, be it anything for that matter. The revolution can only come from students, and student entrepreneurship is going to be a game changer for sustainability. And I'm a big advocate, big believer of it. And whatever you need, you think I can support you in any way, or you just want to talk about sustainability, nature, share comments or suggestions for me, if I can learn from you, or whatever you need, feel free to reach me out on LinkedIn. And I would be more than happy to talk to you guys. Again, thank you so much. It was a privilege to be with the Nature Club, and Vikram and Ankita, thank you again for the opportunity. I'll be happy to answer any questions, guys. Thank you so much. So concluding with a message for you guys. Thank you so much. I think I took up 40 minutes. Hope you guys didn't sleep off. Ankita?
Yes,
ma'am.
You didn't sleep off, right?
No.
Okay.
It was a very good session.
Thank you so much. You can let me know if you have any questions, or If you want to have it, if you have any comments, anything, I would love to talk to you guys. You can reach me on LinkedIn, as I said, as well.
We kindly request all participants to feel free to raise any questions that you may have by raising your hand or dropping a message in the chat box. Our speaker is eagerly looking forward to addressing your queries and making this session more interactive for everyone. I would request all the participants to switch on their cameras for the group picture.
Okay, I think we have a question. Shall I answer that?
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Okay. So how can individuals, wow, so many questions. How can individuals actually contribute to the campaign by adopting, okay, what role can education? Yes. So what you can do actually as a zero waste practice, first thing is to familiarize what are the right things to do and scientifically validated choices, as I said. So see, the change mainly comes from what products you use. That is where the main plastic consumption is. So if you look into your personal care equipments, just go study about the chemicals, the products there. How can you switch? What is the packaging? Just start with one thing, just small thing. Just go to your room, go to your restroom, figure out what is the shampoo, what are the products, how much plastics you're using, make a list and start small. Just don't go into a big depth of research or anything. Just start small. Check out what is the alternative for the shampoo that you're using, or what is the alternative to the soaps that you're using. How can you be more organic? Start small, I would say, and one step at a time. So education and awareness, yes, it is a very important thing. We are conducting as many awareness programs as we can. But what happens is there is a lot of rush when we take the programs. When we talk, like now I talk and then you guys are all motivated, today you will go and do something, but then tomorrow then life becomes all serious and you have to go find job, you have to take you help mom with something, all of this, right? You have everyday things to figure out. So you should not forget it. You should take earth into your emotions, as I said, and that's gonna go a long way. Okay, so how do we start with, yeah, I said that beginner's tip is first start small. First look into an influencer or someone you can look up to. I think rest will eventually, you will eventually figure out. How can communities in India like Mumbai adopt decentralized composting systems to manage? Very, very excellent question, Vidhi. Yes. So decentralized composting or decentralized recycling, all of this is a big topic that we are talking about. Fortunately, with composting, decentralized composting works in a way that, how to put it? So it is not big as such as a practice, because in even big communities, big flat systems, right, they are not really willing to pay to get the composting done or segregate the waste as such. But however, what we see is the waste that you are disposing, if you segregate it, the workers, the municipal workers itself make compost and sell them. Most of this is happening in the ground level. So that's a very good system, and your thought process is good. I really appreciate it. For sustainable gardening practices, yes, you can start composting at your home first and foremost. There are very good companies selling devices for this. You can check out 2-3 companies in Bangalore. I can send the links. You can first go purchase them or just look into their videos. They're very good videos. They can guide you into gardening practices. How can businesses and organizations incorporate zero waste? Yes. So businesses and organizations, zero waste is basically in the office atmosphere, in their everyday lives, they use reusable products per se. That's it. It's for even for tea cups, they use their mugs instead of the cups. For water, they use reusable bottles. So this is where whatever products they use, they have to cut down or make it reusable. That is how the organizations actually incorporate zero waste, and all the cleaning that they do is a major waste. And they try to do composting then and there itself. So a lot of leaves are generated in corporates, offices and all. They have a compost pit there itself. So we set up that as well for the corporates and organizations. Is recyclable plastic good, and what's the difference between buying? Very good questions. Recyclable plastic is, of course, plastic is recyclable and it's very, very good because you can use it a number of times. But biodegradable means it's just natural product, like your leaf. It just degrades, right? It's a one-time end of life thing. So definitely recyclable is best in that case compared to a biodegradable product, because to make new things requires more energy, but you recycle, comparatively energy is less. In intro slide, why you have shown me good questions for zero to zero your waste weight. So I showed it as zero weight to reduce your weight in kgs of plastic, whatever you consume. So I showed it in a weight scale of zero waste. So thank you that you asked, someone asked that question. I'm very happy. Lovely questions, guys. Actually, I loved all the questions. Wait, ma'am, how can initiatives like the Buy Nothing movement contribute to reducing waste? Okay, see, if you are in a mindset that you are refusing and reducing your consumption, great. But if not also, it does help. All you have to do is start to actually do something. That's all. That's all that matters. Don't think it as fancy initiatives, name tags, just as an individual, think of what you can do. And once you do it, the others will definitely get influenced and follow. So I hope I answered all your questions. Are you vegan? No, Sachin, I am not vegan. I am vegetarian, but not vegan. Unfortunately, I have tried to cut down ice cream. I've cut down ice cream for more than 5 years now. So one product I'm working on to cut down eventually. So I am a big fan of chai. I cannot give up chai. Unfortunately, I cannot give up my chai there. So that is the only reason, since I'm having milk. It is the only thing that is stopping me. But I don't think you need to be vegan to be supporting the environment. If you reduce a lot of your consumption itself, it goes a long way. It was really amazing, guys. You have a lot of questions. I'm so happy, and I wish every one of you connect with me on LinkedIn. You can take my number from Ankita or Bikram, and I would love to talk to you if you want help with your career, whatever I can do. I'm working with a lot of students, as I mentioned, on their projects and for their entrepreneurship. So please feel free to reach out. I think that's pretty much it from my side. Comments from you guys, like suggestions, I improve, would be happy to suggestions as well, or comments or some feedback would be great. So it would be good for me to next time talk to the students. Yeah, I'm putting my LinkedIn. Thank you for the session. Thank you, Sachin. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
I would
Thank you
like
so much.
to
My LinkedIn
thanks,
link is yes.
I would like to thank you, ma'am, Ms. Desika Prabakar, for enlightening us with her valuable insights on zero waste living. Thank you for sharing your expertise with us today. Lastly, I would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to our principal, ma'am, Dr. Pooja Ramchandani, and our teacher in charge, Dr. Chandni Bhattacharjee, for their support, which made us to make this webinar successful. I would also like to thank our event organizers and volunteers for their dedication and hard work in making this event possible. Without their support, today's gathering would have not been possible. Thank you, everyone, for being part of this remarkable event. Let's continue our efforts to conserve energy, protect our planet, and create a sustainable world. Have a wonderful day.
I think you have a group you mentioned. I want to take a picture with you guys.
Yes, ma'am.
Before we go,
Yes,
I want to
sure.
take a picture. So if you guys don't mind, if you become future celebrities, I can show people, you know, I spoke to them. I'm sure you will.
Yes, ma'am. Guys, I would request all the participants to switch on your cameras for the group picture.
How do we do this though? I don't know. So you just take a screen, click, that's it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We'll take a screenshot of the screen.
Okay. A lot of women now, very happy to see a lot of lovely, very cute people. Everyone looks cuter than me. I feel very jealous right now. Very happy to see a lot of girls. Please reach out. Just posing for the picture, or I don't know, I keep smiling. Should I keep smiling?
Are we done with the picture?
Yeah, I'm just smiling.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we all look okay? Or do we look funny? We look okay?
We all look perfect, don't worry.
We look okay. Okay. Please reach out on LinkedIn, guys. It was so lovely talking to you, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.